North Korea flexing more muscle today, threatening merciless attacks against the United States. That as a U.S. carrier battle group conducts routine drills in the seas off South Korea. Jennifer Griffin joins us now with the latest on this. Jennifer?
Stuart, the USS Carl Vinson arrived off the coast of South Korea to begin training and send a message to North Korea following a series of provocations. Senior U.S. Navy officers are calling Vinson's training routine, part of annual military exercises involving tens of thousands of American and South Korean troops. But North Korea has vowed a, quote, merciless response if the U.S. aircraft carrier violates the sovereignty of the communist regime. This comes as Secretary of State Rex Tillerson departs today on a trip to Asia, where he will visit South Korea, Japan, and China, with North Korea at the top of the agenda. Previewing the trip, a State Department spokesman outlined the Secretary's thinking.
What are next steps we can take to really put pressure on the regime to make them feel and pay a price for their behavior? So I think all these things are on the table. None of them are easy.
Last week, North Korea launched 4 missiles which landed 190 miles from Japan. In response, the Japanese government announced their largest warship will sail to the South China Sea soon. Stuart?
Jennifer, thank you very much. A reaction now from someone who says backing down would just embolden North Korea. Former commander of the USS Cole, Kirk Lippold, is with us now. It seems to me that we're not backing down. President Trump seems to be taking a more forward approach. The carrier is there, the missile defense is there, the joint exercises are there. This is a new approach, isn't it, from President Trump?
Actually, it's not, Stuart. We have this routine exercise we've done with the South Koreans for years, and for the aircraft carrier and the rest of the battle group ships to be there and conduct this exercise with South Korea is actually routine. So the fact that North Korea wants to do these merciless attacks on us, that's just more the same language that we've heard every single time we do these.
But didn't we move a missile defense system right in there, and we've not done that before? That's a forward approach, isn't it?
Very much so. And I think that's sending a strong signal, not just to North Korea, but to the Chinese as well. Let's face it, China's the one who has aided and abetted North Korea throughout their ballistic missile program and their nuclear program. They're the largest trading partner. They're the largest supporter. And when it comes to it, I think that the Trump administration is going to look across the entire geopolitical spectrum, using every instrument of national power to try and get the Chinese, to get the North Korean to start behaving in a responsible manner.
There's danger here, presumably, because Kim Jong-un is, shall we say, an erratic leader. You never know what he's going to do, and here we are taking a forward position. This is a dangerous development, isn't it?
I think that the times drive it to be more dangerous than others, simply because when you look at the turmoil with the South Korean government, the fact that they're without a president with a corruption scandal, they aren't going to have elections till May. We're still continuing to move through with this exercise, which I think is a very strong signal that despite their internal turmoil, we're still going to back a principal ally in the region. The key now is to look and start working with China to figure out long-term, how are we going to reunify the peninsula? Short term, how do we prevent North Korea from misunderstanding, overreacting, and perhaps igniting a war on the peninsula, which nobody wants?
Well, reportedly next month, early next month, President Xi from China visits President Trump at Mar-a-Lago in Florida. Presumably, they'll discuss North Korea and maybe work out a new approach, because China surely does not want North Korea nuclear armed with missiles right there on its border.
Well, North Korea has aided and abetted the nuclear program and the ballistic missile program. So having it right there on the border, they do not view as a threat to them. They view it as a counterbalance to every other one of the regional players in the area. Japan, South Korea, Australia, they're looking at having North Korea as that somewhat unpredictable neighbor next to them that can create the buffer that they need. And the fact that it is nuclear armed as well really creates the heavyweight and the concern for many of the other nations there. That's why we need to work directly with the Chinese to figure out how we're going to get North Korea to behave responsibly.
Well said. Kirk Lippold, thanks for joining us, sir. Appreciate it.
Before I take your questions, I'd like to say just a word about the framework with North Korea that Ambassador Gallucci signed this morning. This is a good deal for the United States. North Korea will freeze and then dismantle its nuclear program. South Korea and our other allies will be better protected. The entire world will be safer as we slow the spread of nuclear weapons. South Korea, with support from Japan and other nations, will bear most of the cost of providing North Korea with fuel to make up for the nuclear energy it is losing. And they will pay for an alternative power system for North Korea that will allow them to produce electricity while making it much harder for them to produce nuclear weapons. The United States and international inspectors will carefully monitor North Korea to make sure it keeps its commitments. Only as it does so will North Korea fully join the community of nations.